Hold on. Y'all are not ready for what just hit the timeline. Stunna for Vegas. Yeah. The same man who cried at his wedding like a whole baptism was happening. Just got hit with the nastiest cheating rumor of the year. And Monaleo? She didn't tiptoe. She didn't write no paragraph apology. She went nuclear on Twitter and lit the whole internet on fire in one sentence. Meanwhile, Cardi B is in her bag screaming about belly rings and $500,000 cars like somebody owes her rent. And the people who started all this mess? They really woke up and chose violence against themselves. Listen, before I drag y'all into this dumpster fire, smash that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe with the bell on. This is the channel where the receipts come before the rumors finish circulating. And trust me, today's receipts are loaded. Let's get into it. So here's the skeleton. Leandra Monaleo Rashawn Allen Sutton, the Houston rapper, and her husband Kentavious Stunna for Vegas, the North Carolina spitter, got dragged into a viral cheating scandal that started on Facebook of all places, then bled into Threads, Twitter or X, and eventually Instagram via the Shade Room. Monaleo addressed it directly on her own Twitter or X account this week with a now iconic clapback. The original Facebook post that lit the match? A grainy screenshot accusation with zero evidence attached. Whoever pressed post on that one really thought they did something. Now let's look at the receipts that show why this whole thing backfired in HD. Alright, pull up a chair, because the quotes on this one are wild. According to the Shade Room's write-up published this week, the original Facebook post that kicked this entire avalanche off read, and I quote directly, Stunna did all that damn crying at the wedding and cheated. That's it. That's the entire evidence. A one-line Facebook status with no screenshots, no DMs, no woman coming forward, no hotel receipts, nothing. When I read that, I had to do a double take. Bro really typed that, hit post, and went to sleep thinking he was a journalist. That's the dumbest flex I've seen in 2026 so far. Then it spread to the comment sections, where the Shade Room reported people running into Monaleo's mentions with stuff like, did Stunna cheat, yes or no? By the way, I love you, sister. Yo, the by the way I love you, sister part is what kills me. Like, you're literally accusing her husband of betraying her, but you're throwing a heart emoji on the end? That's not love. That's nosiness wearing a sundress. Now here comes a receipt that ended the whole conversation. Monaleo took to her Twitter or X this week and dropped, quote, guys relax, me and Stunna are fine. He literally between my asterisk as we speak. That's it. That's the tweet. That's the whole press release. No PR statement. No we ask for privacy at this difficult time. No notes app paragraph. Just raw, unfiltered Houston energy. When I read that, I screamed. She didn't dignify it with a defense. She dignified it with a location update. And according to that same Facebook write-up from L&AP that's been racking up shares, an earlier reaction from Monaleo addressing relationship work in general went viral with the line, quote, "It takes a stronger woman to stay." Now whether that line was tied directly to this rumor or all the drama, the internet welded them together overnight. People are out here playing Pepe Sylvia with red string trying to connect tweets from 2 different months. Then on her Instagram via the Shade Room Teens Threads breakdown, Monaleo got even more specific. She made it clear her husband never wrote a single lyric for her and doesn't even record in front of him. Why is that important? Because part of the rumor cycle was people whispering that he's too involved in her career, and she shut that down too in the same breath. 2 birds, 1 stone. No PR team needed. The blogs that tried to make Stunna look like a ghostwriter just got told he doesn't even sit in the booth with her. Embarrassing. Now flip the channel to Cardi B. In a Twitter or X space this week, which got clipped and reposted by basically every blog including XXL and 105.1 The Bounce, Belcalis Almanza herself, our Bronx warlord, went off. She quoted the troll tweet first. Somebody had written something along the lines of, how you gross 70 million on a tour and still can't take a break, still at clubs, still doing influencer skincare brand deals, still unmarried, LMFAO. And Cardi's exact response, for the space audio circulating, you talk about I'm ready for money? I just spent $450,000 on a chain. What are you talking about? Hurting where? Just bought me a $500,000 car. When I heard this, I was like, this is a Wendy's. But also, go off queen. She kept going. Direct quote from the same space, I just spent $20,000 on a belly ring. My belly ring cost $20,000. 2 of them. One of them is $20,000. The other one is $13,000 by Maria Tash. My other one is from Milani. Bro. She itemized her stomach jewelry in real time. Like a receipt at Best Buy. That's the move of someone who is done with the broke allegations. And then, this is the part that flipped the whole conversation. Cardi clarified her tour numbers. Direct quote from the space. My tour didn't supposedly gross $70 million. It actually did gross $70 million. Polestar and Billboard both confirmed the run. 35 sold-out dates, for 53,000 plus tickets, north of $70 million in revenue per Yahoo Entertainment's recap. So the trolls weren't even reading the news right. They tried to use our own achievement as a slander point. Make it make sense. Now that we got the quotes, let's connect the dots. Here's where the timeline gets nasty, and you'll got to pay attention because the dots are already connected. Most people just aren't looking. That viral wedding? Per Revolt TV's recap of the livestream, the bride walked down the aisle to Beyoncé's 1+1 in a pink gown while the groom legitimately fought back tears so hard the officiant had to crack a joke. The Breakfast Club later got Stunna on the show to break down why he cried like that. So the entire internet had this man on a pedestal as the new standard for husband behavior. He was a Black Love poster child of the year. That post? It didn't drop in a vacuum. It dropped right as Monaleo and Stunna had been quietly cleaning up their social media, and that's the part nobody's saying out loud. Per the thread's commentary circulating from the Shade Room teens, fans noticed some pictures had been quietly removed from her IG before the rumor exploded, and that is what supposedly fed the Facebook gossip cycle. So one person saw a deleted photo, made up a whole infidelity story, and Facebook ran with it like it was the Pentagon Papers. His reaction came faster than usual because of the backdrop. Per the same Shade Room timeline, this couple has been on a public hot streak, viral wedding clips, joint interviews, a music collab called Queen and Slime still trending on YouTube. They were operating at maximum visibility. So when you're that visible, every deleted photo becomes a Da Vinci Code clue to people who got nothing better to do. That tweet went up the same week that Cardi B's drama also exploded, which means the algorithm was already primed for women in hip-hop scandals. Facebook was running it back like it was 2014. The blogs needed content. The TikTok comment readers needed audio. Monaleo got dropped into that machine without consent. And here's the part that should make everybody mad. The same Facebook post had 0 sources, 0 screenshots, and 0 accountability. But it traveled from Facebook, Threads, Twitter, or Instagram in less than 48 hours per the timeline the Shade Room laid out. So the gossiper did this 3 days after the couple had just dropped a wholesome interview clip together? That's terrible timing, brew. Any smart person would have waited for actual evidence. But the rumor mill isn't smart, it's hungry. Now over on the Cardi B side, the timeline is even more brutal for the trolls. The Little Miss Drama Tour wrapped its first leg with 35 sold-out dates at State Farm Arena in Atlanta per Facebook posts from XXL magazine. Then, per Target Center's official announcement dated September 16, 2025, this was already announced as her first tour in 6 years. SeatGeek's tour page confirms the next leg of Little Miss Drama Tour begins February 11, 2026 in Palm Desert, California, and runs through April 17, 2026 in Atlanta. And Billboard reported she's adding dates in LA, New York, and Atlanta. So the troll who said still can't take a break was complaining about a woman who is literally loading up another tour leg while collecting brand deal money on the side. That's not a flex against her. That's a resume. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Now check this out. Nobody's talking about the surgical precision in Monaleo's clapback. Zoom into one word. Literally. She didn't say his with me. She didn't say his home. She said his literally. That one word does heavy lifting. Literally is the linguistic equivalent of slamming the door in your face. It says, I'm not being figurative. I'm not being cute. The man is physically present on my person right now. That's not a denial. That's geolocation. And the gossipers really didn't catch that? That's embarrassing. Now zoom into the phrase, as we speak. 2 seemingly empty words. But forensically, they timestamped the rumor as dead on arrival. She's not telling you what was happening yesterday or last week. She's saying right now, while you're typing your think piece, the man is glued to her. That's a chess move disguised as a tweet. If our opposition trolls had half a brain, they would have noticed she didn't just defend him. She put the rumor in a coffin in present tense. Then there's the lack of something. And this is huge. There's no exclamation points. There's no caps lock screaming. There's no how dare y'all. It's lowercase, calm, almost lazy. And that's what makes it lethal. When someone is panicking about a cheating rumor, they overwrite. They post screenshots. They go on live crying. Monaleo wrote it like she was texting her cousin about lunch. The energy mismatch between the accusation and the response told you everything. She's not worried. And, opposition, missed that calibration entirely. Now flip to Cardi's space. Listen to the cadence, the way she pronounces dollar amounts. 20,000. She doesn't slur it. She doesn't round it. She drops the exact figure like an auctioneer. That's not bragging. That's record keeping. She's making sure when this clip gets cut up on TikTok, the receipts can be Googled. The trolls thought they were jabbing at her wallet. She turned the jab into a citation. And one more layer. Cardi quoting two separate Maria Tash piercings, $20,000 and $13,000, plus a Milani piece. Why list 3? Because she knew somebody was about to fact-check her on Reddit. By naming brands and artists, she made the flex auditable. That's the move of somebody who's been burned by the internet before. Cardi remembers every Twitter cycle that came at her neck. She's not playing checkers anymore. The opposition trolls thought she'd ignore them like a serious adult. Nah, she went operational. She's playing chess while they are still trying to figure out the rules. Now let's see how the media covered all this. Watch how differently different blogs framed this same week. The Shade Room framed the Monaleo situation as a clear-the-air moment, almost neutral, almost dignified. Their headline treated it like a press conference. Reasonable. Measured. But Facebook pages like LNDAP went a different direction entirely, framing it through the stronger woman to stay angle, which honestly is a stretch because that line and the new denial weren't necessarily tied to the same incident. That's how rumors get reinforced, blogs welding together unrelated quotes to make a juicier narrative. Remember her actual present tense statement we broke down earlier? That wasn't an admission of anything, but the way certain blogs framed it, they had people thinking she was confirming something happened. The receipts don't support that spin. The Threads commentary via the Shade Room teens leaned more investigative. They pointed out the deleted IG photos as the actual trigger, not any real evidence of infidelity. That's the version closest to the truth, but it didn't travel as far because nuance doesn't go viral. Now on the Cardi side, Yahoo Entertainment and 105.1 The Bounce framed her tour numbers as a triumph. XXL Magazine on Facebook called it the highest-grossing debut arena tour milestone. Polestar, cited via Rap Culture Buzz on X, tried to nitpick with a slightly lower gross number, around $68.4 million. So even the outlet disagreement helped Cardi, because whether it's $68 million or $70 million, it's still a lot more than the troll has ever seen. Some of the trolls in the replies were saying Cardi's clapback looked desperate. Nah, those are the same people who thought silence equals guilt. If you still think a woman who literally bought a $500,000 car needs validation from a $30 per month Twitter Blue subscriber, you're just biased. The media trying to spin this as Cardi can't take criticism is wild when the criticism was math-based, and her math was better. But here's what nobody is saying. Alright, real talk. Something about both of these stories feels OFF, and it's the same thing in two different costumes. This isn't about Monaleo. This isn't about Cardi. This is about a culture that has learned that successful black women in hip-hop are the easiest engagement bait on the entire internet. Period. Both of these scandals dropped within the same news cycle, and both of them are built on the same blueprint. Take a woman who's winning, find a vulnerability, her marriage, her money, and weaponize it for clicks. Think about the math. Monaleo is married to a man who cried on national TV out of love for her. So what's the angle? You can't attack her music. She's hot. You can't attack her looks. She's beautiful. You can't attack her relationship publicly because everybody watched the wedding. So what do? You manufacture infidelity from thin air on Facebook, the lowest stakes platform on earth, and let the gossip pipeline carry it to platforms that matter. The trolls running this play are puppets, and the algorithm is pulling the strings. They don't even know they are being used as free labor for a content cycle. Cardi's situation is the same blueprint, just with money instead of marriage. You can't argue with $70 million in tour gross. You can't argue with 453,000 tickets sold. Polestar, Billboard, Yahoo, they all confirmed it. So how do you slander her? You imply why she's secretly broke. You suggest the brand deals mean she's hurting. You make her defend her own success. And the second she does, the second she lists belly rings and chains, the same trolls turn around and say she's insecure. It's a no-win box. The industry needs Cardi to be a punchline so newer artists can rise without going through her. They want her exhausted. They want her clapping back. They want her looking petty. Because a petty Cardi is a non-threatening Cardi. This is repeating the same playbook used against every female rapper who hit a peak. Nicki had it. Remy had it. Lauren had it. Foxy had it. Now Cardi and Monaleo are taking the baton. The industry didn't change. The platforms just got faster. We've seen this before. The trolls are on the losing side of history, and they don't even know it. And here's the real forbidden take that nobody on YouTube wants to say out loud. The gossip economy is fundamentally misogynistic. Notice how nobody made up a viral Facebook rumor about Stunna being cheated on. It's always the woman being humiliated, even when she's the victim. The frame is always, did her man do her dirty, instead of, is somebody lying on her marriage. That's not journalism. That's not even gossip. That's a culture that profits off making women feel small. And opposition trolls are foot soldiers in that culture, whether they realize it or not. Look at Cardi's space again with this lens. She didn't just defend her money. She said, and I'm paraphrasing because the clip is everywhere, that one thing she learned during her pregnancy with Blossom is that when she was pregnant, brands pulled their endorsement deals because they thought she was washed. That's the real receipt. She's not flexing for fun. She's responding to an industry that punished her for becoming a mother. The trolls saying she takes too many bags don't realize why she takes every bag, because she remembers when the bags disappeared. Every belly ring, every chain, every brand deal is a middle finger to the system that tried to write her off when she was pregnant. That's not desperation. That's strategy with a memory. And Monaleo? She's been protecting her peace by flying under the radar. For the Breakfast Club interview, this couple barely does press together. They mind their business. They drop music. They go home. So when the rumor mill couldn't find any real dirt, they had to make some up. That tells you the level of cleanliness in that household. The only way to dirty them was to literally fabricate. Opposition is rewriting history because the real story isn't dramatic enough to feed the timeline. The scary part? This is gonna keep happening. As long as a Facebook status with no evidence can move the shade room, Threads, and Twitter in a 48-hour cycle, every black woman in this industry is one bad gossiper away from a cheating scandal trending on her wedding pictures. That's the forbidden truth nobody wants to print. The platforms are the problem, and the audience is the unpaid workforce. And that's the truth they won't tell you on TMZ or Complex. They'll cover the clapbacks. They won't cover why the clapbacks keep happening. The pattern is becoming obvious now. Watch the next move carefully. Nah, this is about to get loud, and not in the way the trolls want. Path 1. The silent war path. Watch what Monaleo's gonna do next. She's not gonna keep responding. She's gonna go quiet, drop a track, and let the music do the rebuttal. Mark this energy. When a rapper gets accused of marriage drama, the album that follows is always the best work of their career. Monaleo's about to cook. The same trolls who started the Facebook rumor are gonna be the ones streaming the song that buries it. And opposition gossipers are gonna look desperate screaming into a comment section while she's selling out venues. The silence is gonna hurt them more than any tweet could. Path 2. The chess move path. Watch Stunna. Because here's what's coming. That man is gonna address this on a podcast, probably the Breakfast Club again, or maybe $1 million worth of game, and he's gonna handle it with the same emotional honesty he had at the wedding. And when he does, the narrative flips entirely. Trolls don't have a counter to a man who cries from love. They can attack her, but the second he speaks calmly and on record, every Facebook gossiper looks like a clown. If opposition thinks they can dodge that moment, they are not ready. We saw what one tweet from Monaleo did. Wait till you see what a 30-minute interview does. Path 3. The culture shift path. And this is the big one. Cardi B's next tour leg starts February 11th, 2026 in Palm Desert Pacific, runs through April 17th in Atlanta, and Billboard already reported she's adding dates in LA, New York, and Atlanta. The trolls who said she can't take a break are about to watch her gross another $70 million on the back end. And when those numbers drop, every she's broke tweet from 2026 is gonna get screenshot and turned into a TikTok montage. 5 years from now, people will look back at this Twitter space as the moment Cardi stopped playing nice with critics, and that's gonna be remembered as the birth of mob boss Cardi. Opposition is watching the culture move on without them, and there's nothing they can do about it. Yeah, somebody definitely didn't think this through. And here's the wild card nobody's seeing. Monaleo and Cardi B are both Caribbean-rooted, female-led, drama magnet artists in the same era. Don't be surprised if these two end up on a track together by 2027. The same internet that tried to break them might be the engine that combines them. The petty version of this story ends with both of them on a Hot 100 collab, while the trolls who started all this are still posting blurry Facebook screenshots from their phone in the bathroom at work. Watch the pattern. The collapse is already in motion. Whatever happens next, one thing's clear. The Facebook rumor mill and the broke allegation trolls already lost. Alright, that's where I leave y'all. Drop in the comments. Do you believe Monaleo and Stunna are solid like she says, or do you think the deleted pictures meant something? And on the Cardi side, was a clapback necessary, or should she have stayed silent like a real boss? I want to hear all the smoke in the comment section. No filters, no PR voices. If this breakdown made you see this whole week different, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn the bell on, because the next 48 hours in hip-hop are about to be even crazier, and we're gonna be first on it. Stay tuned, stay petty, and keep your receipts handy. I'll see you all on the next one.